Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the difference between a grid-tied system and an off-grid system. So that conversation is coming up. So when most people think about getting solar for their home, usually they're thinking about getting a grid-tied system. So what exactly is a grid-tied system? So you're going to have your solar panels on your roof, and so during the day when the sun is out, the panels will be producing energy that your home can use. But then at night, when the sun isn't out and the panels aren't producing, that's when the grid-tied system, grid-tied part comes in. Being grid-tied is a term that we use, and it's in conjunction with your utility company through an agreement called a net metering agreement. So basically what that means is when you're producing energy during the day, your system is going to be producing more energy than you can use all at once. So all that excess energy is going to go back to the grid and be stored for you in credits. And what happens is at night when the sun isn't out, you pull from the grid and you use those credits getting free energy, basically the energy that you produced earlier from the grid. And you can think of the grid as like a big battery as sorts. So basically you're producing extra energy during the day. You're putting it on the grid as a battery storage kind of, and then at night when you're not producing energy, you pull from the grid, and that's how you use your energy that you've produced from earlier. And that's pretty much the basis of a net metering agreement. So as I just mentioned, you can think of the grid as a big battery if you have a one-to-one net metering agreement. This is the cheaper option of the two because you can use the grid as a big battery, and there's less components with a grid-tied system, and that also makes it cheaper. If you're on a budget as well, a grid-tied system will let you basically pick the size of the system that you want. Maybe it's not going to 100% offset all your usage, but if you're on a budget, you can only spend so much, and then you can basically offset the difference by just paying your utility company for the extra usage that you use. One other benefit of having a grid-tied system is say you are on that budget, and so you can't spend all that money at once. Well, say maybe a few years down the road, you were able to save some more money. You can easily add more panels to your system with a grid-tied system. With an off-grid system, it's exactly what it sounds like. You have no connection to the utility company and you're on your own 24/7. So with that in mind, how do you power yourself 24/7 if you have no connection to the utility company? One, you're absolutely going to need battery backup to be able to do this. So one of the differences between an off-grid system is basically, you're going to have your panels and they're going to produce during the day when the sun is out, but also instead of that overproduction going to the grid, what you're going to end up doing is that overproduction is going to go to your battery, and that way at night when the sun isn't out, you're going to pull from your battery instead of the grid and power your house at night from your battery. And then you just repeat every day. And so the reason why a grid-tied system is cheaper is because batteries are really expensive, and so that's another component you have to have for an off-grid system, and so that's going to cost you a lot more money to be able to be not on the grid. There are also extra components you need for an off-grid system, mainly a controller, and so that's going to cost you more money than having a grid-tied system. In addition to a battery, you may also need a gas generator as well, because depending on where you live, it may not be sunny every day, and so basically, at some point your battery is going to be full, and let's say you have, a week worth of cloudy days or it's raining for a week, your battery is not going to be able to power your house for that long unless you have a massively huge battery, which would mean a lot more money. And so in those cases, you would need also a gas generator to basically power your house when the battery is out and there's no sun. But of course, there are benefits to being off-grid. One being you never have to deal with the utility company ever again. You're totally on your own, so you basically set the bar for yourself. There's no increasing rates from the utility company because, again, you're just paying yourself basically. And even you wouldn't have to deal with possibly volatile net metering agreement rates. So with an off-grid system, you're totally free and you're just paying yourself back a fixed price for your electricity. So that's the differences between a grid-tied and an off-grid system. Leave your comments below, and thanks for watching.